Greetings, salutations, my guitar playing friends. Today we are going to look at the song Good Riddance, Time of Your Life by the iconic American rock band, punk rock band, Green Day. Just saw them in concert about 2 weeks ago. It was awesome. This is a great song for working on your strumming. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the way that I think you should play it at first, especially if you're a beginning player who's just starting to strum. And then I'm going to show you the way that they do it. And then I'm going to show you a little variation that I like to do. It's just a little different. So first, let's look at the chords for this. This is kind of a 4-chord song pretty much. You've got G, but note that the G that we are using is this one. We still have our lower two, our 5th string and our 6th string, kind of where we usually do. But here it really needs to be this way. You need to put your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. It's the note D. And then you need to put your pinky on the 1st string on the 3rd fret. Okay, this is very important for this song. You're going to get this kind of G. By the way, this is kind of a preferred G I found among guitar players who play a lot. I don't have a scientific survey here, but most of them, I hear this probably a little more often than this. Although I definitely see this too. But all of them are fine. But for this song, you must do G this way. Why? Because the next chord we are playing is called a C add 9. Simply meaning that we are adding the number 9 note above C, which happens to be a D. But don't worry about any of that. Just know that all you have to do is maintain this 3rd finger, 4th finger relationship and move your 1st and 2nd finger technically up a string. That way. And then you get this beautiful C add 9 chord. Really, really lovely chord. Sounds a little more complex because there's an extra note in it. Okay, so our chords are G, then we're going to go to C add 9, then we're going to go to D chord. Okay, we used this song back in one of the other sections for a chord change exercise, so you may remember it if you watched that video. And we are going to use strum pattern 4. Again, this is not exactly how they do it at the beginning of the song. I'll show you that in a minute. But I think you should just practice strumming. Why don't we try it together, just a little slower than the song goes. We're going to try this verse pattern right here, and we're going to try it twice in a row. There's 2 measures of G, 1 measure of C add 9, and then 1 measure of D. Note that my 3rd finger never really has to leave the guitar throughout this whole chord progression. But if you want to pick it up and reset it a little bit, that's fine, but just be aware that it's not actually going anywhere. So let's try it a little under speed here. 1, 2, ready, play. Ooh, that feels good, doesn't it? Just great strumming, great chords to play. Relatively easy over here. That doesn't mean it is easy, especially if you're starting out, but it could be a lot worse. You can probably tell that, right? Some of those changes, probably getting to the D chord might be a little tricky, or back to the G chord. When I go back to the G chord from the D chord, when I'm repeating, my method is I put my pinky down, almost hit it a little bit, and then like this, so it ends up being, okay? So you can kind of cheat a little bit, kind of just start changing a little bit early, because the most important thing is to try to be there with that chord on beat 1. So if you start changing a little early, that's okay, it's okay. So now let's look to the next part of the song called the pre-chorus. Same strum pattern, we're just throwing in an E minor chord, okay? 2, 3, 4. That may be trickier for you because it's a regular C chord, regular G chord, or you could go to this version. It would be acceptable to replace that regular C chord with the C add 9 if you want to do that. Okay? Might be easier for you. And that way you end up with a E minor, D. We're going back to C, C add 9, back to G. They don't do it that way, but I won't tell them. And it sounds really good that way too. I like it with the regular C a little better because there's a little contrast there. But again, if you're playing and singing the song, throw the C add 9 in. It'll be fine. Then we're going to go to the chorus, which is pretty cool because you're starting on an E minor. And then your first finger can kind of stay where it is as you go to G. And either G would be acceptable here. Go back to the verse, right? Yep, and if you were ending the song, you would probably end it on a G chord, all right? Very cool, very cool. So great for practicing strumming. I assume you know the song, or maybe you've listened to it and you can hear the song and it may ring a bell for you. Wonderful, again, for practicing your strumming. They don't really do it with that straight up strum pattern, though, if you listen to it. They do another pattern, which I'm going to put up right here. As the song goes, it sounds just more like regular strumming, but at the beginning, you get this pattern that's more like this. Like that. Pretty cool, right? Really nice stuff. Now, you'll see here that I wrote, let me just make sure I'm telling you the truth here. Yeah. So you'll see that I wrote the down up pattern. It's very important to do your pick the right way. I'm on with this pattern, the chords are the same, right? My pattern I'm putting up here are just the chords to the verse. However, instead of strumming the whole chord, I'm picking individual notes in there. It's a little bit hard to hit the right strings, and if you listen to the beginning of the song, you hear Billy Joe Armstrong utter a bit of an expletive when he kind of messes up the beginning himself a couple of times. So you're in good company if you hit the wrong strings a little bit on this. But notice the directionality of the pick. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Familiar? It should be, because it is simply your strum pattern number 4. Your hand is doing the same basic motion, but instead of strumming, we're picking individual notes, but you get the same rhythm. And as you hear them play it, it's not a super, super precise way that they're playing it, probably because it's so fast. It's more like they're kind of, oops, see, I did what he did, right? I did it again. It's kind of like that. So it's kind of quick moving. If you do hit a wrong string, we're not in the recording studio, right? We're just playing it. We're having fun. We're enjoying the groove of it. So it's not that big a deal. So feel free to try this pattern if you want to try it the way they play it. Now I want to show you one other way to play it. And this is the way that I typically play it. It's very, very similar to their pattern. However, I change the second note. Instead of doing in each measure, instead of doing the bass note twice, I like to go to my open 4th string and go like this. And then I switch to the C add 9. And then on the D, I just think it sounds a little cleaner and I think it's cool. I really like it. 2, 3, 4. Again, that's not exactly how they play it. That's how I play it. And if you want to, that's how you can play it. So there's 3 different ways you can play the song. The strumming way, the way that they play it, and by the way, they play it kind of through the verse, the pre-chorus, and the chorus that way, and then they kind of just go back to regular strumming. It's what it sounds like to my ear for the most part. And some violins, some cellos, some different stringed instruments come in. Or you can play it my way, which is just kind of a cooler, a little cleaner way. I shouldn't say cooler, but it's cleaner, a little cleaner way to do it. All right. So the key is that your chords are not changing. Your chords are going to be the same regardless of which way you do it. Your left hand doesn't know what your right hand is doing. And over here, you can strum, you can do this, or you can do my way, but regardless, you're still doing a down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And that's going to keep the rhythm solid, even if maybe you hit a string that you didn't mean to. So have fun with this song. I'm not going to give you a play-along track because I want you to try to play it along with Green Day. And remember to maybe go on YouTube, slow it down to 0.75 the speed, and see how it goes. And it should be fine, whichever pattern you use. It should match them pretty well. So good luck and have fun playing Good Riddance. Hope you had the time of your life.